doing the last week for the Contender Series 2020. So, yeah, this was a good season this year. We had 10 weeks. It was kind of, broken up a little bit because of the Fight Island thing. But, we've done very well this time. We've gone 9-0 on this, second half. We did really good on the first 7 weeks as well. So, hopefully we can end the season strong, do good on this one as well. But first fight of the night, Chelsea Hackett, Victoria Leonardo. Chelsea Hackett is probably the lesser known girl on the MMA scene of the two girls. She's younger. She's 21 years old. She's a 3-0-1 record. She's fighting out of Australia. This is going to be the first fight outside of Australia for her in MMA. But she's actually, a world champion Muay Thai fighter. She's done a lot at a young age, and her striking style, it kind of reminds me of a more refined, better version of Veronica Macedo. She uses a lot of kicks, powerful straight punch blitzes. I think that she has much better hands than Macedo, really good pull counters. When she finds her range, she could really do well. She keeps the distance well. She has really nice straight punches, good teeps up the middle. She'll throw nice low kicks to head kick combination. She has some solid combinations she'll put together. She ends and starts a lot of combinations with kicks, and she definitely has power. She's also really quick, and she's good in the clinch. She has good foot sweeps, good knees, good elbows. When she can get that Muay Thai clinch, she will throw hard, heavy shots. And she likes to get fighters against the cage, control them there. She digs underhooks well, good head positioning. In her last fight, she did go for a ill-advised spinning attack, and the clinch gave her back, but showed no fear of going back down to the ground with her opponent. She immediately took her down with a foot sweep in the second round after that. And it seems like Hackett is starting to get the groove of things with the jiu-jitsu and the wrestling. I've seen Hackett land some head and arm throws in the clinch as well. She's going to have, she's a girl like that has a little bit of an edge about her. Like, you could tell, like, if she gets hit, she wants to return right away. If she loses a grappling exchange, she wants to win the next one. And that can be good and bad, but it's a good mindset, and she is definitely a winner. And she got right back up when her opponent regarded, which to me did show good fight IQ. So she's someone that maybe she will play on the ground with you a little bit or want to take you down if you take her down. But she knows, like, if she gets in the guard and she feels uncomfortable, she'll stand up. But it shows maybe she's still a little green on the ground. But this fight's likely going to be won in a clinch unless Hackett can land a big shot from range, a high kick, and hurt Leonardo. I mean, the UFC may want Hackett to get a high kick knockout because Leonardo doesn't really have the best defense against head kicks. But if that doesn't happen this fight, it will be in the clinch a lot, and Hackett has to prove versus a higher level grappler, a more experienced grappler in Leonardo, that she could stay on her feet. In her MMA debut, she did get taken down multiple times with doubles against the cage. She almost got submitted in the first round, but she didn't show great submission defense technically, but I mean, she definitely isn't part of the quick tap club. She was able to survive a fully locked in armbar triangle, and the fight ended up getting called a draw because I guess they gave her opponent Zeman the first round a 10-8, but I feel like Hackett clearly won that fight, and Hackett's grappling is clearly improving. Her striking is there already. Great cardio. She seems to get better as the fight goes on. Her opponent, Victoria Leonardo, she's been competing in Invicta, and she's definitely faced much better talent on the MMA scene than Hackett. She's coming off a close decision victory over Liz Tracy, and she's going to be a tough test here. She's a big girl for the division, good boxing, good jab, good lead hook, showed double jab in a range for combos, decent footwork, and she likes to move and walk opponents into pull counters, and she will switch stances. She can be a little bit tricky on the feet, throw some lead leg side kick, but she can be a little bit stiff, and her defense is not very good. She'll drop her hands when she throws strikes, and Erin Blanchfield was able to catch Leonardo exiting and exchanges with their hands down. She dropped her with a head kick in the first round, finished her in the second round with that same high kick. And Leonardo, she's going to need to mix it up here. She does have a solid clinch game. She did get a couple takedowns against Liz Tracy, who's a good wrestler. And the fighter who's better in the clinch will likely win this fight. Leonardo, she's definitely faced a lot higher level competition. If she can get on top of Hackett, I do think she could potentially control and have some success there. She's proven, she has good cardio and she can go hard 3 rounds. So this is a fight to test where Hackett is, but I think the UFC definitely wants Hackett to win this matchup. Leonardo will mix it up in the striking with Hackett, but she's very outmatched. I think the speed, the fluidity, the kicks are going to be hard for Leonardo to deal with. Hackett isn't the biggest mover. She has more of that Muay Thai style, but she's always coiled like a spring looking to counter, and that's going to give Leonardo the opportunity to clinch up. Most likely a lot of Hackett's fights end up in the clinch. From there, Leonardo's going to need to work takedowns on the legs, go for doubles, and see if Hackett can defend them, keep the wrestling pace. You will also, not want to be at range, or you're also not going to be at range, which kind of makes Chelsea less dangerous. But if Chelsea can win the clinch, though, land knees, hit her takedowns or foot sweeps, or just get out of the clinch, I think she's going to have a big advantage. I think even if Leonardo gets her grappling going early, Hackett's a girl that's super tough. She's going to stay in it. She's going to make Leonardo work, and I think by the end of the fight, she's going to be the fresher fighter. I think Hackett may get taken down at the beginning of a couple rounds, but sweep or get back up to her feet and dog it out. So standing, she does have a chance to get a high kick knockout, and I think she's going to put some long combos together on Leonardo. I'm going to pick Hackett by decision here. And up next here, this will be a good one. We got Sherrard Blackledge taking on Tucker Lutz. And these are two returning fighters to the show. Both these guys won decisions earlier in the season. They didn't impress enough to earn a contract, but they did enough to get the call back. So both these guys are going to be going hard for the contract here. This is going to be a good fight right here. And Blackledge, he won a dominant decision, a back and forth fight where he showed a little bit of everything against his opponent. Tucker Lutz, his opponent in this fight, he won a harder, fought more competitive decision in my opinion, but he did get the job done over a tough Chase Gibson. And I would arguably argue Blackledge has fought the better competition, but it isn't by much, and Lutz has a big experience advantage here. Physically, Blackledge is going to have some advantages in this fight. He's going to have a 4-inch height and reach advantage on Tucker Lutz. I think Blackledge is the more athletic guy as well, and both are around the same age. Lutz is 26, Blackledge is 27. It's hard to find a lot of footage on Tucker Lutz. I mean, you can find a couple of his amateur fights, then his most recent fight, obviously. And I'll say in his fight most recently, he kind of had this similar style to what he always had. He's short, he's compact, comes forward, pressure striker. I will say he was throwing a lot of naked kicks, though, especially early on in the fight. And against a long guy like Sherrard, who's accurate, throws straight punches down the middle, tight counters, that's going to get him in trouble, early on especially. So he needs to be better with, when he throws those kicks, set him up, keep your hands up, and don't throw naked kicks in this fight. But Lutz, he has pretty good blitzes. He'll come in with that straight right with a big uppercut, close that distance, go body head with hooks, comes up over the top with overhands, uppercuts. He has pretty decent power. I don't think he has any type of overwhelming power or anything, though. And he's a tough, durable guy. He takes shots to give shots, willing to trade in the pocket. But it did seem like he was a little bit hesitant to trade with Chase Gibson. And I feel like in the third round, he kind of got a little bit tired. And Gibson did get the better of him in the striking and in the grappling. He almost submitted him. So I feel like that wasn't even that high of a paced fight. If you watch Sherrard Blackledge's fight, his fight was much higher paced, and he was able to, I believe, keep the pace a little bit better, have a little bit better cardio, even in a much higher paced fight. On the feet, man, I mean, Tucker Lutz, I feel like he's going to be wanting to go, down to the body, back up to the head, and really, I don't think he's going to want to be at range, man, because I think Blackledge is going to be able to touch him up as he comes in with the straight punches, with the counters, with the hooks. He has better boxing. He's much longer, and his fakes, feints are really good. And Lutz does tend to go to the body. Like I said, he'll duck his head. He'll come forward with these big uppercuts and kind of open himself up. And Sherrard can land one of these big knees up the middle as well and really put his lights out potentially. But we saw in his last fight that both these guys will mix it up. Tucker Lutz, he has pretty decent takedowns against the cage. Looks like a strong physical guy. And when he gets on top, I really wasn't that impressed, though. I mean, seems like his control really isn't the best. I don't think he has a good submission game. I don't think he really has good jiu-jitsu at all. When you saw his fight with Chase Gibson, I mean, he was making some mistakes on the ground in that third round. I don't know if it was fatigue or what it was, but he, did show good, takedown defense and scrambling ability. He used the whizzer to deny the takedown, and Gibson was pretty deep on the takedown and took the back of Gibson. He also showed some pretty heavy hips defending a deep double leg, so his takedown defense isn't bad, but Gibson was able to land a trip in the clinch, control him in the clinch a little bit, and I feel like Sherrard could do that as well potentially. But Lutz, when he took the back of Chase Gibson, he didn't get his hooks in and got reversed, and it kind of showed poor fight IQ. Chase Gibson hit a switch on Lutz, took his back, and had his back for the last 45 seconds of the fight, attacking a rear naked choke. All three judges gave that third round to Tucker Lutz, but I actually thought Chase Gibson won the third round. And in this fight with Sherrard Blackledge, man, I just think Sherrard is a little bit better everywhere than Tucker Lutz. I think on the feet he's longer. I do kind of, worry about Lutz being aggressive, getting in his chest, throwing these body shots, coming up over the top, and just maybe outworking him. But I think if Sherrard's having trouble with the numbers on the feet, he can get in the clinch, slow the fight down, hit takedowns. And I think when he gets on top of Tucker Lutz, his length, his riding ability, his positional awareness is going to be too good for Lutz. I think he's going to be able to control him. I think Lutz is going to get tired, and I actually think Blackledge could potentially find a finish in this fight, but it could also go to decision as well. I actually feel like Cameron Church, the opponent that Sherrard Blackledge fought in his last fight, is a little bit better than Tucker Lutz, and I think that he has a similar style with the pressure game. He has decent grappling himself, and Sherrard was able to take him down, control him in the clinch. The striking was competitive, but I felt like Sherrard got the better of that as well. And I just feel like he's just too good for Tucker Lutz here. He should style on him, get the victory. So, got to go with Sherrard Blackledge. And in the third fight night, if you remember, I already broke this fight down a little bit. We got Pauline Macias taking on Gloria to Paula. They were supposed to fight in the first episode back on, I think it was week 8 of the Contender series, but unfortunately, something happened. I think Paula tested positive for COVID, so we do kind of have to monitor that, see how she looks at the weigh-in and everything like that. Because if she looks really bad, then obviously Pauline is going to be the play here. But looking at the fight, I mean, Pauline Macias, she's 4-0. She trains at Factory X. She's fighting in LFA, so she has the better resume, on paper than Gloria. Gloria's 4-2. She's coming off a longer layoff, but Gloria's fought the higher level competition. Her 2 losses are to UFC fighters. And I think in terms of the striking, she has a big advantage, Gloria to Paula. She's a long striker, straight punches down the middle. She hits hard. She's aggressive. So I just feel like she's going to be able to really have a big advantage on the feet against Macias, who's pretty much just a judo girl. And she's also pretty good in the clinch, Muay Thai plum knees. She has decent jiu-jitsu. She'll roll for leg locks, decent armbar, okay guard. Her takedown defense is not very good, which that's a little bit of a challenge here against a girl like Pauline Macias. Macias, though, really bad striking, stiff, low volume, hands low, really bad defense. But she's a good athlete. She throws hard, and she's willing to get hit. She has decent level changes, really good judo. She's obviously I believe, like a former Olympian in judo, but, she doesn't really set her shots up with strikes. Couldn't take down a 2-2 opponent in her last fight, barely won a split decision. I think she actually easily could have lost that fight. If I saw Pauline being a grinder, constantly getting takedowns, pushing a pace, holding opponents against the cage, I would be more inclined to be confident in her. But we've seen, because we've seen Gloria to Paula grinded on by Isabel de Padua, but I rate DePaula higher than Macias, man. I just think she's more athletic, better striking. I feel like if Pauline can't get it to the ground, she's going to have big issues, and she's not really great at getting it to the mat yet, even though she has that judo in her pocket. She hasn't really translated that to MMA in terms of closing the distance, in terms of setting up her takedown shots with strikes. So if you're just trying to get in the clinch or shooting without setting it up, it's going to be hard to get takedowns even if you're way better in grappling. So I'm actually going to go with Gloria DePaula to win a decision in this one. In the co-main event here, we got a pretty badass flyweight fight. We got 2 guys with ties to the Contender Series already. Jacob Silva, he already competed on the Contender Series, put it on a show. It was a back-and-forth war against Jeff Molina. And the UFC was impressed. They invited him back 2 months later, even though he took the loss. And he's going to be taking on JP Baze, who was already scheduled to fight on the Contender Series earlier this year, had to pull out. And his wife, Cheyenne Baze, is a fighter that's already won a contract on this season of the Contender Series. So they could be the first couple to both win a a contract on the Contender Series. And JP has some credentials in his own right. He's the current EFC champion at bantamweight. He's also the former EFC champion at flyweight. And it's interesting Baze is returning to the show back at flyweight. The last time Baze competed at this weight class was when he lost to Joby Sanchez on the Contender Series in 2017. He's had 4 fights since then, all at bantamweight. Looking at his fights, he doesn't really seem very big though, so it's probably a good move. Baze, he did gas out in that fight, and Uriah Faber said he was cutting down from 144 on fight week, which is a big weight cut, especially for a flyweight. So hopefully he has a better weight cut this time, manages it better. And JP Baze, he's going to be the significantly younger fighter. Jacob Silva, he's 32, and we already talked about this on the breakdown with Silva versus Molina. He's going to have to beat these younger guys at flyweight to get into and compete in the UFC, but this is going to be a battle of Texas. Baze is representing Fortis MMA. Jacob Silva, he's coming out of Metro Fight Club in Houston, Texas, but both these guys are finishers. Baze has never had a decision win. And Jacob Silva, he's finished all of his wins as well. But JP Baze on the feet, he's going to have a speed advantage, probably more dynamic. He likes to move around on the outside, switch stances, throws a lot of nice kicks, comes forward with heavy straights, overhands, and kind of a tricky striking game. He's big for the division, he's powerful, and he blends his grappling with the striking really well, so it makes him hard to read. Really good wrestling. He's on the South African wrestling team, and you could tell he's been grappling a long time. He's super strong in the clinch, hits nasty suplexes, really fast level changes, high level scrambling ability. When he gets taken down, he's extremely aggressive hunting submissions. He has a good guard game, and when he gets takedowns himself, it's the same way. Really good arm triangle, really good back takes. If he can get your back, you're in trouble, man. He'll flatten you out. He'll rain down big shots. He'll look for the neck, and finished multiple fights by rear naked choke, multiple fights by ground and pound, and he ran through his last opponent. That was around a year ago, but he ran through him really quickly in that fashion. He took the back, flattened him out, closed the show with ground and pound within 2 minutes, and he does go all out for the finish, and he has a tendency to start great in round 1 and then gas out, especially in heavy wrestling fights. He did it on the Contender Series with Sanchez, and he also did it in a Brave fight where he did fight a really good opponent. He had a fantastic first round. He dropped Gamzat Magomedov. He showed off some really good wrestling scrambles. In the second round, he got taken down. You could tell he slowed down a little bit. He got hit with looked like not a very powerful strike to the back of the head, and the fight was ended because Baze couldn't continue. And it was actually a wild scene if you want to check it out on YouTube, because after the fight, Magomedov was really fucking mad. He was like walking forward, flicking off Baze. It started a big brawl, and he was trying to get in Baze's face. He got pushed by one of the coaches. Then the coaches started fighting each other, and Baze does, like I said though, when he starts to get tired, he'll lose scrambles, he'll go for ill-advised chokes, he'll get taken down, he'll stick in submissions, and just stay there when he knows he can't stay in those positions. And he's been finished on the ground in both of his losses, so that's something you definitely have to take into account, especially with him moving back down to 125 pounds. If Silva can push a pace, get him tired, put him in a bad position, who knows, maybe JP will look for the way out. But Jacob Silva, I like his fighting style. Comes forward, big power hooks, overhands, and in the pocket, he's going to have to chance to land, because if he can keep it standing, Baze is hittable, and he has to make it count when he hits him. And also, Jacob Silva throws really nice flying knees. He just doesn't give a fuck, man. He'll swing for the fences. Jeff Molina, though, put a lot of damage on him, and that was only 2 months ago. He kept catching him with well-timed counters. He hurt him multiple times. Silva got rocked really badly, and so his chin maybe not as strong right now as it was 2 months ago, but he's a guy who fights in bursts. He kind of waits, explodes, waits, explodes, and I'm just not sure his grappling is up to that level though, because I watched a fight of Silva's versus Juan Dientes where he looked okay with his defense on the ground, but not really that great. He got taken on really easily against the cage, gave up his back, gave up the mount. In the second, he went for a guillotine, ended up on his back, had his back taken again. Third round, he got taken down again. If he gets taken down and gives his back early in the fight with JP Baze, I just don't think he's going to survive that. So because of that, man, I just feel like Baze is on a different level with the grappling. So I got to go with JP Baze, probably a first round submission or TKO in this fight. But if If it does get late, second, third round, Jacob Silva starts putting the pressure on. Baze is, look for that door before, and this is probably going to be a big weight cut for him. So have to monitor that, but the pick for me is going to be JP Baze. Then last but not least here, we got the main event. We got Nick Maximov taking on Óscar Ivankota. And in the main event, we got the Jiu-Jitsu ace, Nick Diaz trained fighter, Nick Maximov. He's taking on the Mexican Óscar Cota. And Nick Maximov, he's a former college wrestler, and he's a high-level purple belt. He's competed in Submission Underground, other grappling promotions, done very well. And he has decent experience in MMA. He went 6-0 as an amateur. He's now 5-0 as a pro. He went pro in 2018, and he's finished 4 of his 5 wins, but competition level has just been putrid, man. The best fighter Maximov has ever fought is 1-1. He's fought an 0-2 opponent, an 0-0 opponent, 0-1, 1-10. This is clearly going to be the best fighter he's ever fought when he takes on Óscar Ivankota. And Óscar Ivankota, he's going to be returning for the sport for the first time in a little over a year. He was scheduled to face Jared Van Dare on the show 2 weeks ago, but had some visa issues, and the fight was moved to this card. So Cota has been training, and he is 11-2 as a pro. He's won 9 of his last 10 fights. He's definitely fought the better competition than Maximov for sure, but it's not a big difference. I would argue that even though it's not MMA, Maximov has more experience with media, bright lights on him. He's already competed several times on UFC Fight Pass. Even though it's jiu-jitsu, he's competing against world-level competition, and Óscar Cota, he's never competed against a world-level competitor in MMA. This will be Maximov's first time at heavyweight, which is interesting to me because he isn't a very big light heavyweight. He's going to be much smaller than his opponent, who probably, walks around at around 250, 260 pounds. But Maximov, he's going to have a tough style to deal with for heavyweights, in my opinion. He could wrestle, obviously. He's wrestled in college. And in his MMA fights, he doesn't set his shots up the best, but he does have fast level changes, good single, good double. He's good at shooting and reshooting, and he's good at forcing scrambles. His last fight was a bit shaky with his stand-up. He got hit with a couple shots in the pocket that were kind of close to hurting him. His jiu-jitsu also is top-notch, though. He's just very aggressive. He has, a really good submission game and really excellent top control. He moved to the mount or the back with ease. From mount, he likes to set up arm bars, mounted triangles. When he can take the back, he'll get that body triangle in, hunt that rear naked choke. He also has excellent scrambling ability. He did end up on bottom. His opponent turned in when he had the back, but he was quickly able to turn it around and end up on top. His guard is nasty, man. You'll attack leg locks, arm bars, triangles, omoplatas, really good sweeps. His pace will probably break a lot of heavyweights. And Óscar Cota, he's a pretty good athlete for being 260 pounds, though. He has pretty good speed, throws a lot of kicks. He throws nice round kicks to the body, to the head, sits down on heavy inside-outside leg kicks. He'll throw a lot of front kicks up the middle. He'll close the distance with big overhands as well. He has a nice left hook overhand right combo, heavy uppercuts. But he can get super sloppy on the feet. He got dropped hard in exchange versus Jay Silva. He is going to be the faster guy, in my opinion, and he hits hard. It does make him dangerous early on. He only has 4 knockouts in his 11 wins, though, so it's not like he's knocking out a lot of guys. 3 of those wins are via first-round knockouts, so he starts hot, but isn't as dangerous in the second and third. Definitely slows down. Cota will look to mix it up and grapple. Defensively, his wrestling isn't the best. His kicks have gotten caught. He's been put on his back due to that. Mario Munoz was able to catch multiple kicks thrown by Cota in the first round of their fight, took him down and controlled him for the majority of the round. When Cota got taken down by Jay Silva, he did show good wrist control. He was going back up to his feet when Silva tried to take his back. In the second round, Cota did try to start implementing his own grappling game, bull rushed his opponent, pushed him against the fence, mauled him a little bit. And in his fight with Mario Munoz, he did the same thing, and the fight ended up ending because Mario Munoz fell out the cage when he was being pushed against the cage door, and it was a no contest. But Cota, when he is able to get a fighter down, he throws pretty good ground and pound. He doesn't really have good top control or submission game, though. Just one submission in his career. And he cheated a lot in his fight with Jay Silva. He grabbed the cage multiple times. He put his fingers in his opponent's gloves to get more control. Landed multiple nut shots, and he got 2 points taken away in that fight. Cota's cardio is not very good. He definitely slows down after the first round. Jay Silva took Cota down third round, hit an arm triangle. The stoppage was a little questionable because Cota never tapped, but didn't seem like he was going to get out of that. And this fight, he's going to have to, really try to keep the range or force a brawl, keep it on the feet. He doesn't want to go onto the mat with someone as good as Maximov. I mean, with this fight, Óscar has a pretty much puncher's chance. He's going to try to land hard shots at the beginning of the rounds. I think early in the fight, he's maybe going to be able to use his movement, and Maximov will be worried about the power. It could be a little bit boring as they kind of feel each other out. But once Maximov gets him down, even if he can't finish him, he's going to tire him out, make him less effective. And I just feel like Nick Maximov is going to get the win in this fight, probably get the submission at some point. But it's a big step up in competition. He's facing a big guy that's going to be a significantly better striker than him, and he's pretty fast. So this is a tough matchup. They aren't giving him a cupcake here. So I do think that Óscar Ivankota could potentially get the win over Nick Maximov, but got to go with Nick Maximov on this one. So there you have it, guys. Thanks for watching. This is the last Contender Series breakdown of the year, so hopefully you guys enjoyed the series, everything like that. Make sure to drop a like down below for this, like always, and put a comment down there. Put a lot of work into these. Been doing pretty well, so appreciate all the support I can get. And like always, I'm going to be doing the full betting perspective for Pub Sports Radio. We're going to be doing the live stream on Tuesday night, so it'd be really awesome if you guys came in, supported the live stream, supported that video later on. Obviously, the odds will be out a little later. Right now, I'm just doing this just off who I think is going to win. And once the odds come out, I'll be able to give you guys more of, like I said, a full betting perspective, tell you guys all the bets that I'm doing, props, money line bets, parlays. So you'll know everything that I'm going to be doing. So make sure to come check out that video. I'll put it in the description. I'll put it in the pinned comment below. So thanks for watching, guys, like always, and I'll talk to you guys later.